Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. It was 4 years of Nancy Pelosi, 4 years where Nancy Pelosi was the leader of the House, and I can't remember one time, one moment, where Nancy Pelosi actually admitted the truth. It was 4 years of obfuscating, propaganda, nonsense, 4 years of lies. And do you think that it's a coincidence that now that she's no longer Speaker of the House, less than a month as the House transitions to a new Speaker and a Democrat minority, all of a sudden, Nancy Pelosi is making stunning admissions, actually saying the truth? The fact that there's an incentive to lie, the higher you go in the world of politics, these people get put in positions of power and the more likely they are to lie and to propagate false information, shows how absolutely twisted, how demented the world of politics is, frankly. And this right here is a perfect example. Nancy Pelosi makes a stunning admission about why and how Democrats lost the House in 2022, and while it doesn't tell the whole story, it's certainly part of it, and it's certainly true. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, it only took 4 years, it only took decades for Nancy Pelosi to say something that I agree with. Pelosi makes stunning accusation against New York Democrats, blames them for 2022 midterm losses. Former Democrat House Speaker and California Representative Nancy Pelosi is blaming New York Democrats in part for why she is no longer Speaker. She said that she believed the Democrats could have held on to the House in November if top New York polls had realized that the key issue in the state was crime. Author Maureen Down, who was interviewing the former Speaker of the House for the New York Times, said, "That is an issue that had to be dealt with early on, not 10 days before the election," the former speaker said. The governor didn't realize soon enough where the trouble was. That was before she and her daughter Alexandria, who was included in the interview, spoke about the toll the attack on her husband Paul Pelosi took on them, with her daughter making a shocking revelation. "The fact that they were after me, and then they hit him," the representative said. "He's a strong person, athletic. It's going to be about 3 to 4 more months before he's back to normal." I think that weighed really heavy on her soul. I think that she really felt guilty, that it really broke her. Over Thanksgiving, she had priests coming, trying to have an exorcism of the house and having prayer services. A stunning admission. But you know, the same thing that we saw at the southern border. What did Greg Abbott say in his scathing letter to Joe Biden again? 2 years too late and $2 billion too little. It's funny how Democrats only admit the facts after elections. And I wonder if New York Democrats are going to change their tune headed into the 2024 election. I highly doubt it. But Nancy Pelosi is right. The number one issue in New York is crime. You know, Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul keep trying to push this narrative that New York City is the safest place in America. And of course, they cherry pick the data in order to make that disingenuous point. But the simple fact of the matter is that New Yorkers don't feel safe because Democrat city officials have let them down. Every single week, we see a crazed maniac in the subway attacking and assaulting an innocent civilian. It's constantly happening. Actually, it happened again just the other day. Fox News meteorologist attacked. A Fox News weatherman was attacked and brutally beaten by several teens on a New York City subway while traveling home from a bar after watching a football game on Saturday, after he tried to stop them from harassing an older rider. Meteorologist Adam Klotz, 37, posted videos of his injuries on Instagram, appearing bruised above the eyes and face, while also saying that he had visible injuries to his ribcage. He explained that the group of 6 or 7 teens set upon him and pummeled him to the ground after he implored them to stop bothering an older man, the New York Post reported. Here's a clip of him describing the events.
Last night, coming home from watching the Giants game at a bar, on the subway, this older gentleman was being hassled by this group of like 7 or 8 teens. And I was like, "Yo, guys, cut that out." And they decided, all right, if he's not going to get it, then you're going to get it. And boy, did they give it to me. They had me on the ground. Like, my ribs are all kind of bruised up too. They got their hits in. But that guy, he got out of there. He's fine. And the cops grabbed a couple of these kids. And, you know, I got x-rays. I'm okay. This is all going to heal. So it's all good. You know what I mean? New York City. New York City. What a place. The Big Apple.
And this is a constant in New York City. It's total anarchy. To be honest, he got off pretty easy. The bruising around his eyes isn't that substantial. We've seen much worse than that. Actually, remember, I think it was a bodega owner, an immigrant from India or Bangladesh, I forget exactly the country, who was brutally beaten by a gang of teens on the streets of New York for simply wearing a Trump hat, a Make America Great Again hat. It's total anarchy. The city has become complete chaos, free reign for criminals to do whatever they want. Do they have tighter gun regulations and less gun crime? Sure. But when it comes to robberies, when it comes to indiscriminate beatings, when it comes to feeling safe traveling on public transportation, it's just not a place you want to be. And living as a New Yorker, you kind of depend on that public transportation. Nobody wants to own a car in New York, but the subway system is a complete disgrace. You should see some of these videos online. Garbage and filth everywhere, open drug use, hobo encampments on the subway itself, crazed lunatics suffering meth psychosis or other types of psychosis, going crazy assaulting passengers, people getting pushed onto the subway rails. It's crazy, and it's years too late. All of a sudden, Nancy Pelosi is starting to speak up now. Too late. And where's the solution? Democrats still refuse to hold a strong stance against bail reform and defunding the police. They're too late, and they're not offering solutions. They're not actually tackling the issue honestly. They're merely saying the right thing on the surface, but not doing the right thing, and it's high time that people wake up and realize that. Just like on the southern border, they acknowledge that there's a problem once it hurts them politically after the election season, but then never really do anything about it. Nancy Pelosi's right. The issue of crime did lose Democrats the state of New York. You've seen the map a million times because I show you pretty much every single time we talk about this topic. Every single New York county shifted rightward. The current Democrat governor, Kathy Hochul, won her election by 5 percentage points instead of 20. I think it's too little too late, and it's showing a serious point of attack. The issue of crime is a winning issue in New York and possibly other states. The issue of general lawlessness and total irresponsibility, and especially Democrat dishonesty and inaction on important issues, that should be the conversation here. There's a reason these Democrat-led megacities are failing. And of course, New York isn't the only one. You guys might not be aware of this, but San Francisco has been long heralded as one of the richest places in the United States of America, especially when it comes to their tax coffers. It also happens to be the district that Nancy Pelosi represents, and Democrats are always telling us how San Francisco boasts an $18 billion surplus. Look how responsible they are, they tell us, as residents are forced to walk over feces and needles and through hobo encampments to walk their kids to the damn school bus. But from 2019 to 2023, missing billions, what migration is costing the Bay Area, the city saw a nearly $7 billion bleed away from outmigration in 2019 and 2020. Taxpayers are fleeing, businesses are fleeing, and these cities are trending rightward. Democrats are saying the right thing in certain cases, but they're not doing the right thing. It's about time the GOP get their act together, because if you can't win elections when your opponent is constantly shooting themselves in the foot, when the standard your opponent set is feces and hobo encampments, and re-releasing violent felon criminals onto the streets because, I don't know, wokeism or compassion or something, if that's the standard that you're up against, and you can't win, well then something is deeply, deeply wrong. The state of Florida and the state of New York are showing the possible forward Republican trend. Take the message, run with a solution, and more importantly, run with it. The DNC is in an injured state, and it's time to win the race. That's what I got for you guys though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.